I'm glad to see everybody this morning. I hope everybody woke up and told their mother, Happy Mother's Day. I missed the ball this morning and got reminded about it. And then all of the kids and us at the same time said Happy Mother's Day, and she said it didn't count. So I'm strike one of three for the day, okay? So, and then Jerry wasn't making it any better with all this preparing dinners. And so if you guys don't hear from me by Wednesday, there's 40 acres we live on out there. You can come and find me somewhere out there, I guess. Please make sure I have flowers for Father's Day, okay? Today we're going to be talking about honoring mothers. I find it very appropriate because I have a mother in my life who has helped develop who I am and where I'm at today. Whether it was through hard love or it was just through love. Has anybody got a mama who was kind of hard love, right? Just me? Okay, well, now I'm going to have questions. My whole life has been a lie. No. But who in here believes mothers have a hard job, right? I do. Man, I tell you what, I try and pass everything I can off on my wife. So we're going to talk a little bit about her today. But mothers have a hard job. They have a lot of things to take care of. I know that I had kidney stones, and they said kidney stones are like having a pregnancy and birthing a child. And I was like, thank the Lord I am a dude, okay? Because, like, they gave me some shots, and I passed my stone, and I was fine. You know, my wife has been through that. She had C-section, so we spent a week in the hospital each time. And that was a pretty crazy thing to experience. And so mothers have a hard job, and I am proud of all the moms today in the world and in our church who has helped develop their children, whether it's from 4 to 12 that we've met. There are some great kids here who have some great, bright futures ahead of them because they got loving moms and loving parents in their family, okay? I come from a family of 6, okay, and I know my mom has had a lot to do to keep up with 6 kids, okay? I got 4, and I feel like at points I'm just like, ooh, okay? So just to give you a little shout story for my wife had to take Mason to archery, who did an amazing job this weekend. So if you see him, congratulate him on that. They went out to Kentucky, and I was tasked with watching the 3 of them, Raiden, Titus, and Eden, by my lonesome, okay, and make sure that they were still alive when she got home Saturday. And I passed, okay? We even ate what my daughter calls Cremos, okay? It's actually Dos Primos in Holt Summit, but she calls it Dos Cremos. So we had a great time. I did my daddy duty, and I told her on her way back, I'm taking off today. But yeah, so I know with having 4, my mom raised 6. My oldest brother is, I should know this, but I think he's like 52, maybe. And my younger sister, I should know this too, but I believe she's like 29. So there's a huge spread in there that my mom had. My younger sister she had when she was 40. And she has given up a lot of things in her life in order for us to be blessed, in order for us to have a great life. I always have told myself, because I've been that kid who was like left at practice. Okay, is anybody get left at practice at least once in their life at football practice or some event, and your mom's like, oh, I got to be there, and I'm 10 minutes late already, okay, and everyone's already gone, and coach is like, where's your mom at? I do that on Wednesday nights sometime. I'm like, where are your parents? Oh, no. I'm like, well, it happens, okay? So I love my mom for what she has done and how she has raised us and the things that she has given to our family. So mothers are so important in life that I have learned there is no retirement for mothers, right? Who in here would like to retire? Just like maybe take a few weeks vacation, like go to Hawaii or something, and enjoy some time away. My wife is always telling me, I need some sushi. I need a night out. And I'm like, but sushi's expensive. Like, just kidding. No, I do say that. I'm not kidding. Anyway, mothers are important and they don't have retirement, okay? And my wife showed me a meme. Matter of fact, it was yesterday, and I was like, okay, I have to add this in. And it says, when those kids are going, or she said, when are these kids not going to be so needy? Has anybody ever said that about their kids? Okay, a mom said that about your kids. Well, on the phone to her mom, she said, well, you're in your 30s and you're on the phone with me, okay? And so I thought, I know she was telling me about it because I think I do the same thing to my mom. I'm like, well, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And here I am 35 and I should be making my own decisions. And she's like, let me tell you how to raise those kids. Like, Mom, if I raised my kids like you did, I'd be in jail, okay? Like, but I love her. I'm where I'm at today because of that shaping, okay? So mothers have no days off, no retirements, and I know that my mom still deals with my brother, and he's over 50, okay? Right? Is any moms in here got an older child who you're like, you got to get this together, okay? Got to get it. Right here on the front row, Tiffany. Just calling it out, okay? So listen, my mom still deals with my brother. He still calls her, and he's still frustrated and got things going on in life that he's dealing with. Most generally, it's about the other siblings. So I find that pretty enjoyable at points. I might encourage that sometimes. So I never let the family and my mom have a day off because of that. And so moms put up with a lot, okay? I don't think sometimes people know what moms go through in life, what moms do for their children, whether it's seen or unseen. And often there is no acknowledgement for that, for those things. I know I've seen my wife do amazing things for my children that they won't even know she did, you know, and things that she does when they go to bed that they don't recognize when they get up in the morning that just becomes kind of natural to them. So moms have a huge task and a huge job ahead of them, and things that they do that they don't get recognized for. So I think Mother's Day is a huge acknowledgement to the mothers and how great they are. So give everyone in here a hand clap today for the moms, because they are special in our lives. We need moms, right? Who in here needs their mom? I still need my mama sometimes, okay? I'm like, yo, these kids, me and my wife, have had enough. Like, I'm putting them on the four-wheeler, and they're coming to your place, okay? Like, get out of here, take a pair of clothes. I'll see you next weekend, all right? And I believe as we grow up, we go through different stages on how we see our mothers. I know my relationship with my mom has grown ups and downs through being a baby, through a teenage years, through getting married and having kids until today. Our relationship still shapes and grows. And I think what's funny is I thought about this, and when I was talking to Pastor about teaching a few weeks ago, I had looked up some stuff, and I found this, and this is kind of exactly how my mentality was, and I think this is how the mentality of our children are shaping today, is that at a young age, okay, we think that moms know everything. Like, my kids are literally like, Mom this, Mom that, you know, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that, or how do I do this, Mom, or Mom, can you unlock my Nintendo, okay? Mom knows the passcode to everything, and I literally can unlock nothing, okay? Like I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm, you know, locked out of the house. Got to sleep outside. Anyway, and then at age, and here's where Mason's at age 10 to 12, Mom doesn't know everything. Right? Kids get to the age where they're like, well, you know, Melissa, I don't know if you really, no, that's not right, okay? 2 plus 2 is not 4, okay? It identifies as 5. No, it's a joke. Anyway, then from age 15 to 17, okay, a lot of times, and this is exactly how I was, Mom doesn't know anything. Like, Mom, you don't know nothing, okay? You don't know nothing about me. You don't know nothing about school. You don't know nothing about baseball. You don't know nothing about cars, insurance, mortgages. You don't know nothing, okay? Like, what is that? You don't know, okay? That's exactly how my mentality was, and I'm praying that Mason doesn't turn that way, okay? So I need you guys to put some encouragement in his life, all right? And then at the age of 18, we believe Mom is no longer relevant. When I was 18, I was like, whatevs, Mom. Like, you know, just make sure my car insurance is paid, please. Like, listen, I was kind of a little rough around the edges, all right? And so we believe at that age, Mom is no longer relevant to the world. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't know the lingo. She definitely don't buy our clothes anymore because she don't buy cool stuff, okay? And so we go through that area in life. And then what I find funny is that somewhere between like 22 to 25, we begin to reverse our thinking, okay? We want to move out, or we want to do things in life, or we're going to college, or whatever it is. We begin to think, well, mom might actually know a few things. Maybe I should ask mom, right? Maybe mom might understand. And then we hit age 35. And I'm turning 35 in August. And now I'm like, maybe we should get mom's advice. Mom would know exactly what to do. So moms are important in our life as we grow up. Whether you have a young one who is growing up and who absolutely does not want to hang out with you, there will be a day. Teach them, train them, show them who God is and what God can do in their life. And I promise when they get older, they'll look back and say, that was a moment that I remember that mom helped shape me and develop me and show me who I can be in life. So moms are important. We take moms for granted most of the time. Moms are kind of like the unsung heroes in our life. I've been through a lot of things and a lot of troubles in life, and I know mom has been there. Whether, like I said, it was hard love, and mom's like, you got to stop hanging out with these people. You got to stop doing these things. But mom helped shape who I am. And as the older we get and our kids have grown, we begin to understand what we put moms through. I look back on the times that I did things, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have not done that to mom. I wish I would have not done that to dad. I wish I would have not hurt them in that moment, because it was wrong, and I understand it, and still today I look on things where I'm like, man, I could have been better. But I was growing, and I was being molded and shaped, and even though mom and dad were teaching me the right way, I had friends that I hung out with who showed me the wrong way. So mom and dad was very important in life to help shape and mold me, and even still today, there are things that I go through that I call mom. I'm like, Mom, gosh, like my belly, like my acid reflux is so bad. You know what mom says to me? And this was like a few weeks ago. I was complaining on the job site. Oh, she didn't tell me to suck it up. She's like, if you just drank a teaspoon of vinegar every night, it'll fix your belly right up. I'm like, Mom, I ain't drinking vinegar. What's wrong with you? Like, that's stuff they said back in the 50s, okay? Like, here's a good one. I'll tell you a good one. My brother-in-law choked on a fish bone at the lake. And my mom told him to drink, I guess, a good vinegar or apple cider, like to soften the bone or whatever it was. But she didn't specify how much he had to drink. That's what moms would do to you, all right? So apparently he poured like this much in a cup and downed it. Thought he was dying. I was like, you should have just choked on the bone, man. So yeah, my brother-in-law had a real experience there with mom. So we tease around with mom sometimes and her remedies that she has. Does anybody in here, moms, tell their kids, hey, with their grandbabies, remedies that they used to do back in the day? Like mom's like, you got to get bananas and honey and mix it up in a cup and drink it. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I'm going to the doctor. That's where I'm going. All right, Mom. So the older we get, that we understand what we put moms through in life. And like I said, I am today who I am because I had a great mother. And I've been blessed to see what my mom has done to make all of the children in her life feel loved and feel safe, and to know who God is and what God can do in their life. Listen, we were, like Pastor said, we had a drug problem. We were drugged to church, okay? We went to church all the time, whether we wanted to or not, okay? And so Ponder likes that. If he pulls me over, I'll use that. Hopefully he wouldn't pull me over. But so we went to church. So I grew up knowing who God is and what God can do in my life. I just hung out with the crowd who told me the opposite. And in being in a world of influence today, students are going to go through a lot of the same things. So it's very important for mothers to be strong-willed, and whether your child is rebellious or not, drag them to church. Take them to church. Let them experience who God is, because I promise they're going to rely on that when they get older in life. And so I've seen Mom take my brothers to church, and we've always joked about the stories where everyone who knows when children sit on the row with you, they're like the worst they can be. They're never, like, they're angels at home compared to when you make them sit next to you at church, okay? And my rough mother, I guess my oldest brother, they were poking at each other and prodding each other in the pews, and she got angry and she stabbed one of them with a pencil in church. Those are good memories we talk about around the holidays, okay? We could bring up some stuff. And so I've been blessed to be around a loving family and a loving mom who would do anything to see us further ourselves in God's kingdom and in life. Literally, my mom would bend over backwards or do anything to help us in any way. Is she going to let us know that we've done wrong? Definitely. But she is there in every moment, okay? And I've been blessed to have an amazing mother, my wife, to our kids who would put herself last to make sure that our kids have what they need. Put herself second to the kids so that they make sure that they have food in their belly, to make sure that their clothes match, because Lord knows I can't match clothes. And I'm definitely told about it, okay? I always get this question of, did the kids go to school wearing this today? I'm like, yeah, why? Nothing. I'm like, okay, just tell me, well, what color doesn't go with what, because I don't match apparently very well. So she does that very well for me, okay? Mothers have a special touch that men don't, okay? Mothers have a way to make it all better. Has anybody got a mother that way? I know when my boys get hurt, I'm like, as long as you ain't bleeding like real bad, or like arms aren't broken or something looks backwards or twisted, I'm like, you're fine. Like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Rub some dirt on it, okay? Like, jog it off. Like, here's the four-wheeler key, something, But when the pain is too much to endure, okay, mom's always the one they run to. Mom's, I don't know what it is. Mom's like, oh, let me kiss it. And they're like, I'm fine. I'm like, well, I said rub some dirt on it. What's wrong with that? And so Raiden, Leash was gone. He didn't get hurt too bad, okay? Before she got home yesterday, we was working on a Mother's Day thing we're doing for my mom. And he tripped over some wire, some cattle panel wire, and he fell and he skid across it. And I was like, oh. And he turned and looked at me. And he had the look in his eyes like, are you going to okay me to cry? Or do I need to walk it off? And I said, it's all right, bud, get up. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. And he's like, oh, right here on his ribs. I guess he rattles his ribs across that cage. And I was like, let me see, bud, let me see. And he pulled his shirt up, and it's a little red. And I was like, you ain't bleeding, you good. And he's like, it hurts, And I was like, well, I ain't kissing it because she's sweaty. So moms have a special touch that dads just can't do, okay? Listen, my daughter wants to kiss me goodnight every night, and I love it, okay? But she goes like this. I'm like, yo, those are wet. Like, ain't happening, okay? Like, clean those off, pucker them in a little bit. But Mom, she just right up in it, just like, give me a kiss, good night, And I'm like, man, Mom's got the touch that Dad don't have. And here's the thing, I come from a family, I love my mom to death, but we're not a huge, affectionate family. Has anybody got a family like that way? Like, we're just not affectionate. Like, we say hi and bye and, all of that stuff. But, like, if you hang up the phone and say, love you, bye, it's like the end of the world. You're like, oh, no, I've become soft. Literally, I have, and this sounds bad. Don't judge me, okay? But I've hung up the phone with Mom and said, love you, bye. And I called her back, and I was like, I called her back immediately because I was like, I didn't mean to say that. But then I was like, no, it's bad if I say that I didn't mean to say that. And so I was like, never mind, bye, click. So, yes, we didn't come from a loving, affectionate family, but it's nice that my wife, they come from that family, and so it's a good blend that keeps me on my toes, okay? So moms are good at that. Moms are good at blending, okay? So mamas they have that special place, that special touch, and moms need to have a special place in our hearts today. Moms go through a lot of things that we don't understand as men, a lot of things that we as men just can't deal with sometimes, and moms go through those things and they take it like champs. And I want us today to understand how important mothers are to us. So I want to jump today to Exodus 2, 1 through 10, and this is when Moses was born, okay? I think Andy's got it. About this time, a man and a woman from the tribe of Levi got married, and a woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She saw that he was a special boy and kept him hidden for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she got a basket and made it of reeds and waterproofed it with tar and pitch. And she put the baby in the basket and laid it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River. The baby's sister then stood at a distance watching to see what would happen to him. Soon Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river, and the attendants walked along the riverbank. And when the princess saw the basket among the reeds, she sent her maid to go get it. When the princess opened it, she saw a baby. A little boy was crying, and she felt sorry for him. He must be one of the Hebrew children, she said. Then the baby's sister approached the princess. Should I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you, she asked. Yes, do, the princess replied. So the girl went and called the baby's mother. Take this baby and nurse him for me, the princess said to the baby's mother, and I will pay you for your help. So the woman took the baby home and nursed him. Later, when the boy was older, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son, and the princess named him Moses, for she explained, I lifted him from the water. Moses' mother had relentless faith, okay? Stay with me on this text this morning, and I'll explain a few things for you that are important. So Moses was born. She did not obey Pharaoh's command to have every baby boy thrown into the Nile River. This boy was special, and she wanted him to live. So when she could no longer hide him, she created a waterproof basket. She put Moses in the waterproof basket and carefully placed him among the reeds on the bank of the Nile. And I know this is faith. Like, I build a lot of things, a lot of houses, but I don't think I could make something float. And so a lot of faith in that right there. Moses was found in the Nile River by Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted Moses and raised him in the Egyptian palace. And Moses later became one of the greatest leaders among the Israelites. And so what we can learn from Moses' mother is that we can clearly learn his mother had the courage to protect her child no matter what obstacles were in her way. And I find this so relevant to a lot of mothers today, to my mom, to my wife, is you don't mess with our kids. Like, you want to poke at me, you want to poke at things, but you don't poke at my babies. And I know mom seems nice and gentle. She got a lot of Irish, okay? She's spunky. So you don't mess with babies, all right? Yeah, I have to watch over my shoulder the rest of the day after this. So mothers can be very protective. Not only did she protect Moses, but she placed his fate in the hands of God when she placed him in the basket on the Nile. Listen, moms have a great, amazing faith behind them. A faith that is very, very strong. A faith that is hard to break. And she placed Moses in the river believing God was going to take care of him because he had a special plan in his life. So any moms today that would go out and protect your baby, do it. Think about that. Think about, and I've had Titus come home. He come home, and I had to dig a little deeper on what he said. But he told me, my teacher said I can't draw crosses. I said, what? I was like, don't tell your mom, but tell me a little more, you know. And so I'm assuming like they were just like not allowing him to. But apparently he was drawing crosses on his homework. And I was like, well, you should probably find something else besides your homework to draw on, okay? Because you're not supposed to. And so I know moms have that protective instinct just like dads do to protect them. And so my mom is very, very protective of her children, okay? And she is verbal about it, and I love her about that. And so we as a family, and I'll give you a little history behind us, we used to do a lot of derbies. Has anybody in here been to a demolition derby and watched them smash some cars up? Yes. Oh, man, there is nothing funner than destroying something. And so we used to spend hours and hours and hours building cars because we thought we were cool, you know. And my brothers would go out in Derby. And everyone knows in racing, you always have the rivals, right? So we were always there against the people who we didn't get along with. And Mama was always like, now, boys, just do what you need to and stay out of trouble, okay? And the first thing would happen if somebody was fighting or like someone hit one of my brothers in the driver's door, Mom was on the fence. Get him! Oh, she's going to kill me for this. But she was. And matter of fact, there's a video. I don't know. It's VHS tape. I don't know if anyone even has that anymore. But I have seen her and have evidence of her hanging on a fence at Capitol Speedway, screaming, get him, get him, get him, to my oldest brother, Walter. And so mamas are protective, okay? Mamas will protect you no matter what it takes. No matter what it takes to do it, moms will do it. As mothers, we also need to take and place our children in God's hands. I know my wife has probably said this to me. I know I've thought it. Is man God, Mason is going to be your child now. Because we got some rough edges to work on. And I'm going to just go ahead and let him be back with you, okay? And so we need to, as mothers and fathers today, place our children back in God's hands and give them to God and allow God to use them as a tool in every moment. We're only going to be able to do so much in their life and take care of them and raise them, but then it's our job to let God continue the work in their life. I know if Mom would have kept me at home and there was a part of my life where I had to grow up. But Mom was still there when I needed Mom. And Mom was still there for advice. And Mom was still there for things that I needed. But at a point, Mom said, you're going to go on your own and you're going to allow God to use you. You're going to allow God. And man, she will remind you of that every day too. Mamas have this crazy advice where like you call them and they're like, well, what did God say? Did you read your Bible about it? And I'm like, Mom, that's not what I was looking for, like, in this moment. Like, you know, I need something like, don't yell at me. And so moms are that way, and we need to give our children back to God as moms. And I believe Moses' mother knew how special he was and trusted God so much with him that God would provide a way for him. I'm going to tell you today that mamas, your babies aren't always going to do what you teach them. Your kids aren't always going to do everything you want them to do. And I am learning that as a dad. My wife is learning that they're not always going to do, but it's still our job. And my wife always tells me, you can't give up on them. It's still our job to teach them and train them and encourage them in every moment and every opportunity that we have. Don't yell at me over that later. She's going to remind me of that. And so I believe Moses' mother knew that God was going to handle him and do what needed to be done. And we need to be willing to give back to God our children and allow God to use them. Allow God to shape them. Allow God to mold them. And be a supportive character in their life in every moment. When they are hurting, hurt with them. When they're excited, be excited with them. Because moms can be that nourishment, that touch that men just can't be in a child's life. So be encouraged today that your children are going to come to you when they're feeling pain and anxiety and depression and anger and frustration, and encourage them that God is going to see them through every moment and every single season they go through in life. Allow God to put them in a place they need to be and become leaders that God has called them to be. My mom is such a great encouragement of when I get frustrated or aggravated, and usually it winds up on the job site. So some of you may know I own my own business, and my brother-in-law owns his own business, and my mom owns hers. But we do everything as a collaboration. And so we always are pretty much on the job site together at some point in time. And Mom will work just as hard as some of the guys who work for us. Listen, mamas can work hard. And so usually if I'm frustrated or something, I'll just, blurt it out. And Mama's there always to back it up with some scripture or with something biblical and be an encouragement to that, you know. And she's like, it's fine. It happens, you know. You're going to work through it. Things are going to be great. Look where you've been. Look where you've come. So moms are good about that comfort, and I love moms for that. And so we have allowing them to become leaders. We also need those mamas who are seasoned, okay, and who have known what God can do and seen what God can do to help students and help those teenagers who don't have mamas, or those kids that you see who are struggling, who need mentors. And we need some mamas to step up and help those children also, and be able to express to them what God can do in their life, and everything is going to be all right. We need those strong moms not to be afraid to speak life into those children. Listen, I will never stand here and tell you, if you're out and you're teaching my kid, I am going to be happy. I'm going to be rejoicing with joy, because my children need outside advice and wisdom from mature, seasoned moms each and every day and every moment. We can teach so much, but everyone who encounters them can also teach them too. And so it's encouragement to have a group of people around us and around our family, and moms and dads who can help express what God can do, because we've only been through so much in our young years that we are. Even though I have lots of gray, I'm not old yet, okay? And so I am encouraged and excited to see that mentorship from other moms and family and friends that are here at this congregation to my children each and every day. And so Moses needed a certain upbringing in order for God to do with him what God wanted. And I feel like when Moses was born, his mother knew he had a great commission on his life. In order for him to achieve that, there was a certain aspect that he couldn't get from her. And so she knew God was going to take care of him in that. And so whether you are a single mom raising a family, or raising a kid by yourself, be encouraged that there are other mothers out there who are willing to help you in every moment and encourage you and be beside you and help strengthen you. And be encouraged in every moment that they will do that. Because I know my wife, we may not know a whole lot, but listen, we help you out. We love our students in Pivot so much. We got a lot of students whose moms don't attend or don't come to church, but they are okay with it. And we will pour out, and Melissa and Jerry will pour out everything that they have inside of them to help teach these kids. And that's what I love so much about moms and that caring nourishment is, I've seen my wife and I've seen Melissa get with female students who are down and discouraged and frustrated and aggravated over life, and essentially not be a mom, but be a mentor in their life and express to them only something that a mom can do. You know, those owies and those boo-boos that are not easily bandaged up, they can attend to those and comfort those and give you a sense of peace in your life. So I love moms for that. I love my wife for that. I love my mom for doing that. And so give them a hand clap for that today. So Moses needed a certain upbringing, and when his mother had done all that she could, she trusted God to do the rest. Listen, moms, trust God with all of your heart. All of your heart, trust him that he is going to show you a way to help raise the children in a world today that is full of so much junk, so much things that will tear you down and wreck a student's life. There is so much of that around. And so be encouraged and pray faithfully that God will show you the avenue, the way, the route to reach them, to talk to them, and to encourage them in every moment. And so God has a plan, and we need to be willing to give those kids back. And so I have a couple things I want to express today about honoring our moms that I find really important, that I have tried to do myself in every day, not just on Mother's Day, but in every day, every moment that I can, try and be that encouragement back to my mom, okay? And so here's the first one that I have is love them unconditionally. I told my wife about this note or this spot I had, and I think she rolled her eyes at me. I was like, you don't like it? Love your mom unconditionally? I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And so we've had ups and downs with my mom. I know that I have in growing up. And so when you say love your mom unconditionally, I'm like, well, there were some moments I could think back when I was like, did I deserve that? And so here's my first point on this. Love your mom unconditionally. Listen, moms, and this is for a lot of you younger, if you got moms that aren't here, wherever it's at, moms aren't going to be perfect, okay? Moms are human, okay? They're not super mom, okay? They're not spider mom. What are some other ones I could come up with? Iron mom, okay? They do iron, but love them unconditionally. They are not going to be perfect. So I had to add that in there. They're not going to be perfect, but we need to have the same love for our moms that Jesus has for us. An unconditional love. A love that is not based on what they can do for us. Me and my wife have said this about our kids before, is it feels like they love us so much when they're eating a delicious food at their favorite restaurant. Or when they're getting, presents for their birthday, or, they're getting money to spend, or every single store we go into that has those stupid bubblegum machines, we have to try and find quarters to give them, okay? That's when they're the happiest. That's when they love us the most. And so I want us, no matter where your relationship is with your mom, to love her unconditionally. No matter what, because she's been through stuff. Not all moms are the same. She's been through things in her life, hurts and struggles and different upbringings, maybe raised you by yourself. And so mom's not going to be perfect, but we need to love them unconditionally and not based on what they can do for us. So here's my second point, is show them appreciation. Show them appreciation. Moms sacrifice a lot for their children. Moms go through a lot of things for their children. Busy schedules. I know my wife, like every night of the week, has something with our kids that are like archery and all this stuff going on that we're just like zoom, 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 back and forth. The schools can never schedule anything that's convenient for anyone. And so moms go through a lot and sacrifice a lot for their children. Tell them that you are thankful for what they have done for you. I know this is one in my loving family that's hard for me to stay on top of, is be thankful and tell my mom that I am thankful for what she's done in my life. Because my love language is works, is giving. And so I do a lot of things for my mom, and I don't speak a lot of words in that way. And so sometimes we clash in that, okay? So show them appreciation. Number 3 is understand what they have been through. Understand what they have been through. Moms, some moms have raised their children on their own, and it's not an easy task. It's not an easy thing to go through and do it all yourself. I know that if I wasn't trying to take care of the 3 other kids while my wife is running Mason across the entire state, all over the place, it would be difficult for her to lug all the kids around screaming they're hungry and throwing chicken nuggets across the car and spilling their drinks and putting their ice in their cup holders and all of these things that go on. Moms go through a lot, and sometimes we don't understand that, and we need to try. We need to understand those things. It's tough to do things as a single parent. Understand that they are doing their best and love them for that. Unconditionally love them for that. Number 4 that I have here is help your mother. Has anybody in here had your mom ask you to do something and you're like, I don't want to do that? I was like, I bought 6 washers on sale at Lowe's. Could you come unload them out of my truck? Why do you need 6 washers? Like, Ponder knows. Just show up to the job site with like a truckload of things that she bought for $10, I'm like, why? But we use it. We use it. And so, help your mother, even when you don't want to. Help her and be excited to help her, because your mom has helped you through a lot of things in life. And as she gets older, as she needs things, we need to be grateful for that and help her and lend a hand to her each and every day. Moms put a lot into life, and God has commanded us to honor our parents So it is right in God's eyes for us to help our mothers. It may be financially, it may be something simple, but it's something she will appreciate. She will appreciate the help. She will appreciate the encouragement. Help her cook a dinner. I don't know. Whatever you can do for your mom that you feel like she would be encouraged in, do it. I promise it will change your all's outlook. It will grow your all's relationship, and it will help you all in the future. And so, moms, I appreciate each and every one of you today and what you've done for your kids. And I encourage you to continue in every moment to seek God and seek God's advice and allow your children to grow in God and who they are. If I could have, and I'm going to do this unconventional today, okay? Because Pastor's out and I can do that. If we have the altar team here, I would like the altar team to come up and just hit the front of the stage for me here. And so, moms, I encourage you today to be excited for what your child is doing, whether they're grown, they've moved out, or you've got grandkids. Be a part of them. Still help encourage them each and every day, okay? And so what I want to do today is the thing that we can do for our mom that is the most encouragement. And this is where I feel like my mom has poured so much into my life and essentially wanted to help me see me further my ministry and further who I am and see my family grow, is I want to encourage you to give your life to God. Because you want to see your mom excited. You want to see your mom on fire. You get on fire for God. Get on fire for what God can do in your life and what God is doing and shaping in your family. And mom is going to be excited also. I just want you guys to line up like right here across the front. Okay? Not to put you on the spot. Okay? And so I believe that if we want to honor our mothers, something that we could do is allow God to change our lives. Allow God to shape and mold us and allow God to be excited and allow us to be excited in God and what He is doing in our lives. And I want us to create a pivotal moment in our lives. See, pivot, a pivotal moment that you look back on and you say, it was in that moment that I knew God was so real in my life. I knew that God was willing to step out, and I need to step out the extra 10, 15% that I have held back and meet God where He is at and give my life to Him and be excited in what He is doing. And something that mothers have been praying for is for their children to be on fire for God. I know I have seen my mom pray for every one of our siblings when they were going through things. When she was frustrated with them, when she was aggravated with them, she was praying. And she was praying that God show up in their life, that God show them who they need to be and how they need to live life and to be excited for God. And so moms have been praying for their children to be on fire for God. And you're not here by accident today. You may have said, well, I just come to church on Sunday because I go to church on Sunday. God has a divine appointment for someone in here today. God has a divine appointment for that individual who is looking for God, who is looking for a change, who may have not had the mother in their life that they wanted, or their relationship with their mother is broken or hurting, or you feel like your relationship with your mother could be stronger and better. And so you're not here by accident. God has set a divine appointment for you today. So what I want to do today is kind of like we do for youth group, because I love it. It's an encouragement for you to step out, to let your barriers down, to let your walls down, and take those long, dreaded steps to the altar. I know for students, it feels like you have to walk 10 miles to get to the altar. But I promise, those 10 steps that you take, when you get to the altar, the weight that is lifted off of your shoulders, the anxiety that is let down, the depression that can be lifted off of you from simply praying and seeking God is life-changing. And so I don't want anybody to miss a moment where they can come and seek God and pray that God strengthen the relationship with their mother, that God heal a relationship with their mother. Maybe it's not your mother. Maybe it's your father. Maybe it's a family member that you have been praying for. Whatever it is, I promise if we continue to seek it, God will see it through. God's promise will see it through. And so I want us to be encouraged in that. So I don't know, Andy, if you have a song you can play in a second. I want us to open the altar up, and I want us to go seek God and pray to God for what it is in your life that you feel like needs to be broken. The chains, the barriers that need to be let down. We need to pray it. We need to sincerely believe it. And here's what I like to tell students. Don't leave the altar with it. I had this conversation, me and my wife, with Mason. It's been, a week ago? A week ago. Go to the altar and pray that God heal you, that God strengthen you, that God fix you. And when you leave, pick up your baggage and take it with you. Leave it. Leave it here. Don't take it home. You don't need it no more. It's not part of you. It's not who you are. God has rid it from your life. He's taken it from you. Allow him to let you be free. And so I'm going to have Andy play a song. I'm going to open up the altars. Give us a few moments. If it's one person or if it's everybody, it doesn't matter. God has an appointment for somebody today. If you want to pray at your seat or kneel at your chair, that is fine. That is awesome. If someone is praying at the chair and you feel a touch on your shoulder, continue to pray. Continue to seek God in every moment, because I don't want us to miss an opportunity. And then after we pray for a minute, I got a couple announcements for you guys, and then we'll dismiss. Andy, you can fire that up.